We have also studied the anti-tumor effect of Ocoxin, OOS, in acute myeloblastic leukemia, which is a cancer of the blood. In liver cancer, hepatocellular, and in the last study we did was in lung carcinoma. Within lung cancer, there are different types, and we have focused on one, in which we have observed that Ocoxin, OOS, is most effective. We've analyzed different types, and although it was somewhat defective in other types, we have managed to extract one type of tumor in which it was most effective. And this type of tumor is not one of the most abundant in lung cancer, but it is one of the most resistant and aggressive. It is called microcytic or small cell lung cancer. We see that in both breast cancer and lung cancer, Ocoxin, OOS, prevents tumor cells from dividing, causing a stop in the cell cycle. This is because there is a protein that acts like a guard, which affects whether the cells divide or not. What Ocoxin does is increase the strength of this guard so the cells do not divide. This also happens in acute myeloblastic leukemia, and therefore we think Ocoxin regulates the growth of tumors by stopping them, i.e. by not allowing them to grow.
The mice were inoculated with tumor cells and developed a tumor that led to liver metastases. There were 3 groups: a control group, a group of mice treated with Ocoxin oral solution, OOS, and another group of mice treated only with irinotecan. We saw the side effects caused by irinotecan and the tumor itself, which in animals can be measured by the condition of their fur, whether it is bristly. It can also be measured in their tendency to scratch or bite themselves. There are several scales that measure the damage suffered by the animal, and according to that scale, animals with the inoculated tumor that were treated with Ocoxin oral solution, OOS, as well as irinotecan, were much better than those that had been only treated with irinotecan. That is to say, it was improving their state of health.
We used a panel of 6 types of pancreatic cancer cells. Normally you can stick to 1 or 2, but we used 6 lines to cover all the heterogeneity that exists in these types of tumors. We found that the effect was the same. The viability of pancreatic cancer was reduced after treatment with Ocoxin oral solution, OOS, and OOS was also able to reverse the chemoresistant effect exerted by fibroblasts associated with the tumor. Thus, by treating cells with fibroblast media, they were able to survive the chemotherapy. And by applying OOS, we managed to reduce viability again, meaning that in addition to chemotherapy, it had a very positive effect.
After this finding, the research team did not hesitate to start new studies with Ocoxin, this time looking into melanoma.
Our model focuses on studying the pulmonary metastasis of melanoma. In the in vitro tests, we used relatively new cells, only 5 years old, which have the same mutation as 60% of melanoma patients, which is a BRAF gene mutation. In our model, we used these cells in vitro, and we observed that for the time being, Ocoxin, OOS, reduces tumor viability, that is, it is anti-tumor. But we also observed how the chemoresistance exerted by the fibroblast associated with the in vitro tumor is also eliminated after treatment with the oral Ocoxin solution. We studied how OOS can also reverse the chemoresistance effect of fibroblasts when melanoma is treated with vemurafenib, the BRAF gene inhibitor, which is one of the most widely used in clinical trials.
There were several lines, and in some of them, there was a positive result. a decrease in the speed of growth of the tumor, simply due to the mice being supplemented OOS in their diet. Tumor cells tend to proliferate a lot because they go backwards in their lineage. Instead of being normal standing glials, they go backwards. They de-differentiate and start proliferating. We believe that in the presence of OOS, this process is reversed. The cells differentiate more, and this makes the tumor less aggressive. We are optimistic because we are also seeing an interesting effect that could be related to the activation of the patient's immune system, in this case the mouse, against the tumor cell, and we believe that this could be even more noticeable in the case of human patients. We are also testing and seeing very interesting results of synergy or reinforcement for conventional chemotherapy in patients of a drug called temozolomide. We saw a type of synergy and a greater slowing down of tumor growth in mice treated with temozolomide and OOS at the same time. I have done a study in which I compare the quality of life before using the product and 2 months after using it. Some patients are undergoing radiotherapy treatment, some have finished it, some are simply in review. And what did I observe? That the improvement in quality of life exceeded 50%. We have observed improved appetite, improved depression, improved asthenia, and at the level of specific side effects of the irradiated area, in this case head and neck, improved mucositis, on which an article has been published due to the antioxidant effect of this product. On the third day, you can see whether it has had any effect. Patients notice it on the third day of treatment. It's very odd, but that's the way it is.